Welcome once again to chemistry class. This will be my final presentation because the class is over. But before I actually get into talking too much, I just want to show you the experiment first because we have to act quickly with this one. This lab we're going to call instant ice, and over here I have 4 bottles of water which are almost frozen. There's a little bit water and you slightly can pour it. So I've had it in the freezer for about close to 2.5 hours. So I will show you the experiment first and then I will explain the science behind it, okay? So I'm going to have a glass here and I'm going to take, there's 1 bottle that I can still pour. I'm going to it's purified water. I'm going to open it right now and I'm going to put the water in here in the glass. Okay, close it. And I'm going to take an ice cube and put it in here. And maybe you can see it. I'm going to show you. You can see right here, this is crystals. This is crystals forming. So if you do it perfectly, it will turn into ice. Okay? So we have this one right here. And then, well, let me take a different one that is a little bit more frozen. So I'm going to take this one again. I'm just going to take the glass. I'm going to fill it up. And I'm just going to take an ice cube right here. And I'm going to dip it. Maybe you can see it also. It's getting to a freezing point. Yeah, it's just from dipping it. It starts normally, the glass starts to crystallize. Then I'm going to put some ice cubes on here, on top of this little bowl. See? And I'm going to take this water here and I'm going to start pouring it. I hope you guys can see it. I guess that's science, guys. Normally now by pouring onto the water onto the ice, it should build more ice. It should actually build up. I can try the same with this water bottle here. It's almost frozen. So I'm going to take more of this water here and I'm going to pour it on top. Maybe this works. And no. Okay. Well, let me explain the science behind it. Normally, if you want to bring water to a freezing point really quickly, what happens is if you basically add an impure object, basically here the ice cubes, onto the almost frozen water, what happens is if the water gets in contact with that, you know, the water is almost to the freezing point, and when water freezes, you know, the molecules, they start to crystallize, and it's like gradually throughout. And the starting of the crystallization is actually called nucleation. So now as we add an impurity to that to that almost frozen water, now the crystals can form much faster because the water is already almost frozen. So the ice is frozen. So now the crystals can build onto this impurity and build more crystals on top of another. And that's how the water actually can freeze. Like, that's why when I put the ice cube into the pure almost frozen water, by dipping the ice cube in, if it's done right, the entire water basically freezes. Like you can see it's freezing. And the same with me just holding an ice cube into the water. If the water is almost perfectly frozen, then adding this ice cube is an impurity. We add it to it now the crystals that are already forming in the almost frozen water have something to build on, which is the impurity, and they can grow on one another, and the freezing, the ice making happens basically very quickly. If you do have questions, put them in the comment sections. I want to thank you all for always coming here, supporting me, watching me during this entire 8 weeks program. Thank you always for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the videos. Yeah, and for a final time, thank you for watching, and have a great day.